reactions have continued to trail President Muhammad Buhari's refusal to give assent to the Electoral Amendment Bill of 2021. After talking tough and reports that plans were in motion to override President Buhari, the Senate on Thursday failed to do so. The President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, said the lawmakers have decided to take the President's rejection of the bill to their constituencies during Christmas and New Year holidays before deciding on the next line of action. This is the same position the House of Representatives adopted before proceeding on Christmas and New Year break. Some Nigerians say they are disappointed at the 9th National Assembly tagging them a rubber stamp legislature and now want the leaders of both chambers to step down. Joining me now for more on this trending issue is public affairs analyst Aki Fatunke. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Veronica. Good morning, Nigeria. Compliments of the season.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Let's get to this matter now. A lot of Nigerians are reacting because the way the Senate went about this matter, talking about the Electoral Amendment Act bill, it was like they were ready to do anything before the bill was sent to the president. They were all speaking with one voice with regards to the direct primaries. And then when they were waiting on the president, it seemed like they were ready to veto the decision. They had a decision made. And then when the president refused to assent to the bill, it came back and we saw that they were gathering signatures. A lot of Nigerians were optimistic. I wonder if you were at the time, but suddenly they're saying that they have to consult with the constituents. And I'm wondering what you make of all of the dynamics that you see playing out.
The battle of long knives is such that, like Winston Churchill said, yes, I said so yesterday, and I have a right to change my mind. Albeit a most unfortunate perception that is being put out to the public. Oh, yes. If we give credence to what the law says, you know, the Electoral Act 2010 as amended, Section 87 was clear that, yes, the mode for political parties to choose those who are going to represent them, recognize direct and indirect. Fair enough. And then, of course, if you now look at the real ground norm, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, under Section 14, Sections 39 and 40, also talked about participatory democracy. Is such that people, and what does it mean by people? You and I, you are a people, I'm a people, the manner of speaking. My village head and my cousins and brothers are also people. Yeah. They should be conscious enough to be able to say, yes, this is what we want, and this is how we want it. Now, if you now put all that together, I see a break, a serious break in communication between presidency and the National Assembly, all in the main belonging to the same political party. And the liaison between Mr. President and the National Assembly, now what happened, what could have changed a bit overnight? Look, let me say clearly, yes, Mr. President has all the rights to, you know,
withhold assent.
To decide to withhold assent, albeit at such a very late stage, when expectations was arrived that things were just going. In fact, I had predicted that before the end of the year, Mr. President was going to assent. But when he now gave those 6 reasons, which flew in the face of recent electoral history of Nigeria within his party itself, I think it was July 27, thereabout in 2018, when the APC tried their hands on direct primaries in Osun State that brought in Governor Boyega Oyetola all went fine. Yetola emerged. And
even the president is a beneficiary of the direct primaries.
On the 29th of September of that same year, the presidency came out and said, look, this is what we are going to be prescribing to Nigerians. In between then and now, we must not always forget that just recently in Anambra State, they went for the direct primaries, and Justin Yaku had to throw a bit of a dart in that and say it's not. So which means not one fits all situation. So between 2018, when it was euphoria, and today, Mr. President, perhaps I give him that benefit of the doubt, has seen more reasons why this should not be given to legislation. For me, I think it's clearly and squarely a battle for supremacy of soul of party and a participatory democracy between the National Assembly members who wishes to wrestle power to do so from state governors. State governors up till now have decided that yes, they will be the ones that will take a decision in our past history, take a decision, and once those decisions are made, and then you go for these indirect primaries where you take people, go put money under the table, and then people are not seen in clear defiance of Section 223 of the Constitutions that clearly has said, look, internally, political parties should witness what we call modicum of democracy in choosing their leaders. That has not been. So my position, therefore, will be, yes, it might be superfluous for the National Assembly to come and make a legislation and says it has to be direct primaries. I think that should be left to the political parties to make a decision. On either side of the divide, depending on where you are, depends on who pulls the strings. In Lagos State, Ambode was edged out by close to about 70,000 votes using direct primaries. In other words, is it the tail who wags the dog or the dog wags the tail? Those who pull the strings, either you make it direct or you make it indirect, will still want to come to sway. What is needed is fairness. What is needed is strict adherence to the rule of law and fairness to all manners of men.
All right. Now, let's look at, because this same position was what my guest yesterday also shared, talking about the fact that who are their constituents? The same governors, political party members, and all of it. But where does this leave the common man? Democracy is about the people as well. Yes. Where do they come in? Where do they contribute? Where do they begin to own this process? When does it become participatory as we want it?
Clearly, Veronica, truth must be told. Yes, Section 223 has asked that freedom of choice and that we should all be participatory. But are we? In the first place, who are the members of these political parties? How many of them are fee-paying to each of those parties for them to now then say, yes, I'm not just a card-carrying member, I have a say in what goes in and out. Now, if the indirect primaries has been deployed, that has been used, hey, come on, let's choose delegates, go and manipulate all those delegates in any way, and it must clearly be told that the July 29th, 2018 primaries that brought in President Muhammadu Buhari, yes, it was lauded, but we also had, and we were at the Slim Stadium in Lagos there, there were a lot of wanting to change hands, and it became the highest bidder, allegedly. So in other words, where does this leave you and I? Again, I like to say, how many of us are actually participating at our ward, at our local levels? Is it not true that for most of the times what we do is a rank-a-day, and believing that when we do the rank-a-day and we are given some little crumbs, we keep on shouting their names to heaven and become impoverished? Mr. Senate President has said he's going to consult the constituencies. Who are these constituencies? When in reality, nobody trusts any organs of government to be able to help us deliver. I think it's a long race, a long track race, and I think, sincerely speaking, it's a bit unfortunate. When they come back to their constituencies will tell them, yes, we are happy. Some will say we are happy. The governors will say, yes, we are unhappy. At the end of the day, I do not see this night assembly having delivered to overrule the president. I foresee a situation, hopefully, that if the contention is in that clause of the direct or indirect primaries, which you can argue on either side, and in any case, don't forget there's quite a number of other provisions in
yes, that. Issues, because I was going to go to that. What most Nigerians want is an improved process. Improved process
which
is transparent,
finally,
free, and fair.
We are now adopting technology.
Yes.
Electoral accreditation, electoral voting, and electoral transmission of results. To me, irrespective of how you look at this, it's a giant step in the right direction. We should not therefore now decide that because of the issue of direct or indirect primaries, which I agree, which I buy into, should be the strict, again, the strict forte of the political parties. All things being equal, that within Section 223 of the Constitution, they must be seen to be democratic in the way they choose their leaders.
Have they proven that over the years?
That, unfortunately, has not been proven. So it's the reason why I said make it direct, make it indirect. Those who pull the strings will always continue to want to pull the strings. What is needed? Change of mind and change of attitude, and the fact that it has to be Nigeria first before all else. I want a situation where the Senate President, you know, in consonance with the House of Reps, who are on vacation, hopefully, for the sake of Nigeria, might have to take a decision to quickly come back, harmonize. Okay, Mr. President, if I had this mole, and you think this mole is not working, okay, we take that out. For the remainder of the sections that we know is going to take participatory democracy to the right levels, please go ahead and give it immediate assent. That is what I expect. I know a lot of theories are going on. I think Mr. President has a duty to give himself first a legacy that he has promised the whole world, that is going to have a transparent, free, fair election, and that by what he has decided to do, will have less of acrimony. We have, you know, sending a message back to the political parties: put your house in order, do what is right, so that we don't end up with the kind of litigations that, you know, people are saying we've faced with indirect primaries, and which is already now showing itself going direct. Carefulness is the name of the game, and the fact that Nigeria has to come first under the rule of law.
Right, we'll leave the conversation here and now. Thank you so much for your contribution, public affairs analyst Akin Fatunke, on the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Veronica.
Right.
Please stay safe.
You too, sir.